Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about something that can genuinely transform your life, a dopamine reset. We're constantly surrounded by things that trigger dopamine, right? Social media, binge watching shows, caffeine, and even sugary foods. But when you take control of your dopamine, it can really impact your happiness and motivation. Today, we're joined by Dr. Sebi, who's going to help us dive into this topic. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. It's such an interesting topic because dopamine is so deeply tied to how we feel and what we're motivated by, but most of us don't even realize it.
Absolutely. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is dopamine and why is it so important for us?
Dopamine is a neurotransmitter, often called the feel-good chemical. It's released in our brains when we experience something pleasurable or rewarding, which then motivates us to seek out those experiences again. It's essential for survival because it drives us to do things like eat, exercise, and connect with others. But the issue today is that we're surrounded by endless sources of dopamine triggers, which can actually disrupt our natural balance.
So true. It feels like every app, every notification, and even the food we eat is designed to give us a quick hit of dopamine. What happens when we get these dopamine hits constantly?
When we're constantly getting quick dopamine spikes, it can actually lower our baseline levels of dopamine. It's a bit like how caffeine works. Over time, you need more to get the same effect. So when we're always on our phones or reaching for something sugary, we're training our brains to expect dopamine all the time. This can lead to what's known as dopamine fatigue, where we struggle to feel motivated by everyday tasks or enjoy simpler pleasures.
Wow, that makes sense. It's like the things that used to make us happy start to feel kind of dull. So, what exactly is a dopamine reset and how does it help?
A dopamine reset, or dopamine detox, is basically a period where you intentionally avoid things that give you instant gratification. By reducing or even eliminating these dopamine triggers, we allow our brains to return to a healthier baseline. Think of it as a way to reboot your reward system. This can help us enjoy simpler pleasures again and find motivation in things that matter more to us, rather than just seeking out quick fixes.
I love that analogy. It's like giving your brain a break so it can enjoy the little things again. So, how can someone start a dopamine reset? Do they need to go all out, or can it be done gradually?
Great question. You can definitely start small. Many people try a day or two without social media, junk food, or any screens. The goal is to focus on activities that don't provide immediate rewards like reading, journaling, exercising, or even meditating. These types of activities engage our minds without flooding us with dopamine. And as you progress, you can extend the reset period or start applying it to other areas of your life.
That's good advice. Start small and work your way up. Now, let's say someone is doing this dopamine reset and they start feeling bored or restless. What can they do to stay motivated?
Absolutely, boredom is a big challenge, especially in the beginning. Our brains are so used to that instant hit of dopamine that taking it away can feel uncomfortable. One tip is to keep a journal to document how you're feeling each day. This can help you notice the changes over time and motivate you to keep going. Also, remind yourself why you're doing it, your long-term happiness, focus, and motivation.
That's a great idea. I think having a journal helps make the experience feel real and intentional. And let's talk a bit about the benefits people might see if they stick with a dopamine reset. What can they expect?
There's actually a lot of research backing this. People report feeling more clarity, increased motivation, better focus, and even a stronger sense of contentment. Because you're no longer relying on those quick dopamine hits, you start to appreciate smaller, more meaningful experiences. It also boosts your productivity because you're able to stay focused on tasks that might not have immediate rewards, like working on a long-term project or learning something new.
That sounds incredible. And it's amazing to think about how just a few days or even hours without those instant dopamine triggers could have that kind of impact.
Absolutely, and the best part is, you don't have to be extreme with it. You can adjust your reset to your lifestyle. Maybe it's taking a break from social media for just a few hours each day, or setting aside time each morning to start your day without screens. Small changes can lead to big results.
I love that flexibility, making it fit into your life so it feels achievable. So, For anyone watching who feels overwhelmed or maybe even a bit skeptical, what would you say to them?
I'd say just give it a try. Even a small reset, like taking a few hours away from social media, can give you a taste of the benefits. It's all about giving yourself the chance to reconnect with activities that bring lasting joy and motivation. And if it's uncomfortable at first, that's okay. It means you're challenging your brain in a new way.
Great advice. Thank you so much for sharing these insights. I think we all could benefit from a dopamine reset in some way. Before we wrap up, any final thoughts or tips?
Just remember that it's a journey. It's not about denying yourself enjoyment, but rather finding balance. Dopamine is essential for us, but it's about learning to enjoy it mindfully. When you're in control of your dopamine, you gain a whole new level of freedom and fulfillment.
That's beautifully put. Thanks again for joining us. And for everyone watching, if you're inspired to try a dopamine reset, let us know in the comments. What's one thing you'll start with? Until next time, stay curious and remember to find joy in the small things.